Hello, it's Jennifer from heysealemon. A while ago I posted a picture on my Instagram showing you my messy craft storage. It's in desperate need of spring cleaning, so I thought I'd bring you guys along and show you my process on how I tackled it. I have a pretty small workspace. I have the office side, which is fairly organized already, but then the craft side where I make things is where it gets a little messy and it starts to take over the whole space. Okay, so here is my game plan. First, I assess the situation. What are my issues, obstacles, and constraints of my current workspace? It's unorganized. Things aren't as easy to take out and put back up, so I want my tools and supplies to be more accessible. I have unused things that are cluttering my small space. I want to maintain a designated space for my office side and the craft work side. And finally, I want inexpensive or DIY solutions so that I'm not breaking the bank. For the solutions, I cleaned up some of my existing storage, plus I turned to Pinterest because that's one of my favorite places to look for clever storage ideas. So a lot of what you see in this video is inspired by pins. I made a whole board full of craft room organization, and you can find that link in the video description below, or you could go to this link right here to see all of the ideas and more. To start, I have a lot of paint and I can never find what I'm looking for, or it's all jumbled all over the place. So first thing is to organize my paint. I also have these paint pens which need to lay horizontal. Since I have a small space, I really wanted to utilize the walls to get the supplies off of any tabletops or just to free up shelf space. So I added wall to my search, and then I found this pretty cool idea which has PVC couplings, but I thought maybe I could put that on the wall. So I sorted through my paint and grouped them to estimate how many couplings I would need. And I went to the hardware store to get 4-inch PVC couplings. They were around $1 a piece and I needed 8 of them. First, I removed the tags and cleaned them, then decided to glue 2 of them together with really permanent strong glue. I just made a line of glue and then pushed them together. To hang this piece on the wall, I'm using this wall mount, so I applied glue to both ends and then put it toward the inside on the top in the middle so it hangs vertically and center. I turned it toward the inside so that it would stay flush with the wall. I repeated this on the rest of the couplings, making 4 units total. If the wall mount doesn't stand on its own while you're holding it to dry, you can also prop something underneath it. After 24 hours of drying time, I decided to hang them right here, and the cool thing about this is you can actually make any modular type design you want on your wall. I decided to go with 2 of these side by side. As much as I wanted to put the paint in this way to show the color, they just kept falling out, so I decided to turn them around, and to show the paint color on the top, I just dabbed a little on the cap. I did this to all of my paint so that I can easily find which color I'm looking for. And based on the bottle containers, they do stay in better this way. And I found a solution for my pens that need to lay flat. They fit perfectly into the space made by the holders. Not only are these functional, but I think they add a great pop of color to the wall. Next problem to tackle is my paper. It does fit into my shelf like this, but they end up sagging and the paper ends up, kind of warped and curled. So I'd really like to find a storage solution where my papers can lay flat, especially my big ones, the 12 by 12 inch paper. There were a lot of great cases, but again, I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I was looking for more of a DIY solution that I could recycle something with. This seemed like a great idea, and I already have a box that I haven't tossed out yet, so it would work perfect for this. I also have some leftover boxes from my bookbinding kit, and you can find more about that in the description below. Also, if you remember the DIY vinyl record organizer I made, I also kept the box set that it came in, and this is actually the perfect size for 12 by 12 inch paper. These are great to recycle and they are so inexpensive. You can find them at yard sales or thrift stores. For this postal box, I'm first going to tape up the side that I opened. I want this side to be the opening, so I'm just taking my utility knife and cutting that flap off, and just removing that side altogether. And doing the same to the other boxes I have, just removing the side that I want to be the opening for the paper, and then taping the sides so that they stay closed. You could add some decorative tape or paper to make these look a little nicer, but these are going into my closet and I won't see much of the sides. I repeated that on the other box and stacked them together, and then added the record box on top. then taped all the sides together to make one paper organizer with multiple shelves. And now for the moment of truth, the paper fits right in. Then I put these boxes into my closet where I store all my paper. And these make it so much easier to grab the paper that I need. And for the rest of the paper, you can see that I used magazine files, and I fit them in this way because that's how they fit in my shelves. On to the next issue, I have a lot of sheets of vinyl, and I saved the other pieces of cardboard from those boxes to give them a little more sturdiness so that I can file them into this file box. I just stacked them in like this, and this clear box makes it a lot easier to find the vinyl that I'm looking for. For the remainder of the cardboard pieces, I use those for some thread organizers. I just cut it up, make sure that there's a notch on top, and then just make a slit on the bottom with scissors, and just wrap the thread around. I also did this for my ribbon, and this is the drawer where I keep all my thread and ribbon. I use a box to keep all the thread. It does look kind of chaotic, but it works for me. It's more of an organized chaos. This is a storage cart which I keep underneath my desk, and in the top drawer I keep really small things like needles and tacks, and I store everything into box lids. This also wheels around, and on the other side, this is where I store my tape. The shelf came with racks like this. I don't think they were intended for this purpose, but these dowels work perfectly for storing my tape. To free up even more shelf space and utilize the walls, I decided to try an over-the-door shoe organizer. It's meant for shoes, but it works great for other things. It works well for organizing all my different glues and spray paints and varnishes, and it's great that I can just turn the door over and everything is out of sight, so it's not further cluttering my small space. I reorganized and cleaned out this bathroom caddy that's in the corner behind the other door, and it's made for the bathroom, but honestly, it could be used for any storage space. And now on to the reorganized closet. This first shelf is sort of devoted to postage and shipping and mailing supplies, and I'm using this DIY recycled record organizer to hold the stamps and envelopes and different bags. Plus I have extra space on the shelf, which is great. Then I have a shelf devoted to electronics, and I have my filming equipment there, and I'm using these undershelf baskets to hold little things that might be hard to get to if they were just lost in this shelf. I'm always reaching for batteries or my paint dishes, so whatever needs to be accessible the most, I put there. I also have some really random things in bags, and I decided to label them so I don't have to rummage through and try to figure out where things are. On the next wall, I have this magazine rack, which I always put papers in. I love this rack, but it is getting a little crowded. So I saw this one pin with clipboards on the wall, and I thought instead of packing all my artwork into this rack, why not free up some of that space and display it on my wall? I like switching out my artwork from time to time, so the clipboards work perfect for this. In case you were wondering about these, I've had these for a while on my magazine rack. They are hanging containers, and they are just hanging off of the holders. These make my tools a lot more accessible, so at my desk I can just reach for what I need. I have one for scissors, different sharp objects, files and bone folders and sponge brushes, and one for all of my brushes. Thanks for joining me in the process of cleaning out and organizing the craft side of my workspace. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. If you try any of these organizing methods, I would love to see pictures on how it turned out for you, so be sure to share those on my social links, and let me know if you have any organization tips in the comments below. For more DIY, be sure to subscribe to my channel, heysealemon. If you're on a roll and you still want to watch more organizing videos, check out one of these right here. You can also find all of these links and more information in the video description below, and I will see you guys next time.